Before you even begin the game, you need to be aware that it's easy to die in this game, so choose the number of feints wisely. However, you can always just quit and load the last save instead of using up your feint. At the very beginning of the game, you get to choose items to take with you. The amount is determined by the difficulty you choose. It depends on your playstyle which to pick, but as a long-time player, I recommend the backpack. Without the backpack, you'll hate this game before you get to experience its many cool features and appreciate its story and many intricate mechanics. However, if you lean towards picking something else, then here's a tip for you. In this game, it doesn't take that many resources to build a basic box and drop a smoking beacon that lets you easily find it. It will show on the map too. Alternatively, click middle mouse button on the map to place a marker. The starting island is not that big and you're likely to return to the same place one way or another, so don't be afraid of leaving some stuff behind. You might be tempted to ground your raft upon the shore lest it's taken away by the sea. This doesn't happen in this game in my experience, but if your raft does get stuck, you can click G and then move to place it back on water. Even the most basic raft has a bed. Use it. Once you build any other water transport, you will also have a fishing stand and storage. Don't uproot tree stumps if you can help it. New trees will grow from them. Don't let negative statuses accumulate. Sure, you can sleep off a minor cut, but if you get a wound, it's better to use bandages. Most of the statuses will not kill you, but they will impede your ability to heal, fill your water and food meters, etc. You can craft medicines for different ailments in the campfire by mixing wild leaves with various flora and critters. Cartographer trees are not a requirement for using mapping charcoal, but the efficiency or radius of the charcoal is determined by elevation. So as long as you find a high spot, it will work fine. Without it though, you'll have a hard time navigating the map, so I advise you always bring some with you when you're exploring. You can even find underwater resources this way. Also, the time of day and weather will impact whether you can or cannot use it. It's very annoying to go to the dark foggy islands where you can't see anything and you can't rely on the map either because the weather is so grim. But navigating without the map or waiting for the sky to clear makes the game so much more exciting. Food is unlikely to be a problem for you, but water might be. To help you, here is the full list of ways to acquire water on the starting island. Green coconut gives sturdy water, can be found on big palm trees that have visible coconuts on them. Those that don't have any coconuts will, well, not have any coconuts. Water source. You'll find these on the map if you use charcoal. Here you will find a bottle of potable water that fills up every few days. You'll also find clay and bamboo sticks around the mountain's water source, which I recommend taking above all else. Living water, a special potion that can be found in secret locations. Restores 30 water, 60 health, cures 2 ranks of all diseases and gives you temporary regeneration, as well as gets rid of the near-death status effect. You can find these locations if you map the map or use concentration mode. I don't recommend using it just for water though, because it's the best remedy for when you're near death and will instantly heal you in contrast to other medicines. Saltwater distiller is good, but requires rare resources so you won't be able to build it right away. Instead, consider rainwater collector. Obviously you'll have to wait for rain, but at least you can drink straight from it without needing a flask. You will need a flask if you want to keep the water, however, because it will evaporate otherwise. There seem to be seasons, as I've noticed there are patches of time when there's no rain at all, and then there's a lot more in a short span of time. Date juice collector. Fills your water meter very well, but it takes time to fill up. If you do have a date palm near your base, it's a great backup source. Also, you can learn the thirst control skills. With this one, for example, you will get extra 5 water from every water containing food. You don't need to build barrels to preserve water, you can just use any building with a water tank. You need to bring your filled flask to the structure, click here and pour it in. The water will remain there as long as you don't use it on recipes, and structures like Advanced Tanner can hold much more water than a barrel. I mentioned concentration mode a bit earlier. It's a great skill to have. It won't help you with the carpenter workbench that you left in the woods, but it will help you find your thrown spears and arrows, as well as the dangers lurking in the grass, so don't forget to learn it and use it. If there's more food in your pockets than you can eat, but you happen to kill an animal, you don't have to harvest it immediately. It will stay there for days and maybe even weeks, and when you eventually harvest the meat, it will be fresh. You don't have to water the plants on your farm if there are rains on your island. Also, you can upgrade your boats. Don't make my mistake and build 2 canoes. If you have a place you frequently return to, keep broken tools in a separate box. You never know when you might need them. For example, I needed fish needles to craft medical kits, and I already had a lot of broken ones stashed away. But remember the order in which items are used up for recipes. First, it takes from your inventory, and then from the boxes. So I recommend putting away the tools you're still planning to use, so as not to accidentally consume them when you're crafting. Some items that have durability will stack on one another. Unlike in other games, this will not make each item have exactly the same durability as every other. The top one will always have the lowest, so you can use them up one by one. So for example, when you create a fishbone needle, it doesn't immediately become broken just because you have another broken one in your inventory. It's just hidden under the broken one. Same with all the foods. When you travel to other regions, bring 3 or 6 or 9 builder toolkits with you so you can build docks. It will make returning, which is likely, easier for you. You can't harvest sharks or other harpooned fish when you're in the water, but you can nudge them upwards or wait for them to float up, and then harvest them from your boat. For the longest time I was fighting with just a spear. I got pretty good at killing big cats and dogs with it, and even bats, but every fight was leaving me at death's door. So don't forget about bows, and definitely use them for bigger enemies. You can also choose to simply evade all the dangers lurking on the islands by imagining yourself a mountain goat. Most islands have cliffs on the sides that you can use to quickly move about. All animals seem to scuttle away once you step foot on those rocks. You can fast travel while overloaded, so if you bring a full cart of loot and your canoe is already full, you can load it all up onto your shoulders and fast travel home. Then just drop everything on the floor or move slowly until you reach your chests.